Hey, it's Amy Scott Grant. They call me the spiritual ass kicker. And I'm here today to talk to you about how you can get out of a conversation without being a biatch, right? So if you watched the compartmentalized conversations video, parts 1 and 2, I recommend both of them. But if you watch those, I mentioned that one of the solutions that you might consider is less contact with certain people, right? Minimizing the amount of communication that you have to have. But I know you're like a nice person, right? So you're not just going to be like, I'm done talking to you and walk away, right? You want a graceful exit. You want to be polite, but you also don't want to sit around and be stuck in a conversation that is going nowhere, or with someone who's toxic, or just, like, hey, you might be at an event where there's way more interesting people to talk to. So you don't want to get stuck talking to one person in a situation like that. So first, let's look at, I have notes over here. So if you see me look to the side, I'm not ignoring you, just consulting my notes so I don't miss anything important to tell you. So first, let's look at why don't we just walk away? Well, social conventions, right? Imagine if that would be super weird, right? If we were in the middle of a conversation and I just walked away and I didn't say anything. So social convention kind of states that we're supposed to at least feign interest in what someone is saying. If you were talking about something that you were excited about, and something just all of a sudden, you'd probably be a little offended. If not, even if you weren't offended, you'd have at least a tiny voice in your head going, oh my God, am I boring this person? Like, what the hell, right? So we tend to be polite and nice in social situations where, we smile and nod, even if we are kind of bored and looking at my imaginary watch. You see that? Who still wears a watch? I don't know. I have a phone if I want to know what time it is. I don't need a watch. But sometimes I'll actually look at my wrist with nothing on it, indicating that I'm bored. No, I wouldn't do that because I'm a nice person too, of course, but there's plenty of legit ways to get out of the conversation. I'll get to that soon enough. So social norms are something that kind of keeps it there, right? As I'm fond of saying, you never know who someone knows, right? So just be nice to everyone. First off, it's just a nice way to be. And secondly, you have no idea who this person knows that you might need to connect with, or you have no idea. Some people you think you meet one time and then they circle back in your life in the most bizarre ways. Or does that only happen to me? So you don't want to find yourself in a situation later where you wish you had been nicer to someone. At least I don't. So I'm just nice everyone, because it's just easier not to discriminate that way. But being nice to someone doesn't mean I have to sit there and be bored to tears, or just sit there when they're talking about something that they're not even engaging me. They're just running their mouth, or they want to hear themselves talk, or people who get very positional and they don't even want to hear what you have to say or your opinion on the matter because they think they already know everything and that their opinion is the right way, or people that just suck at conversation. There's people like that too. So the social norm is that you kind of smile and nod and you mingle, and you feel like you have to wait a certain period of time, or you wait till a break in a conversation. But I'm here to tell you can break away anytime, anyway. That's not rude. And that's another fear too, is we worry that we'll be perceived as rude or a bitch or anything like that if we are to just abruptly leave one conversation to go on to another. Also, I find with women, there's this weird nurturing thing that we have. Maybe it's the lack of a Y chromosome. I don't know. But we sort of feel like if we're at a party or dinner party or gathering or event or anything, and we're talking to one other person, tell me if you can relate to this. For most women, they don't want to leave that conversation because they feel like they would be abandoning that person. So we kind of wait for an opportunity for someone else to walk up, and then we leave the conversation. But if you don't know these people, let's say a lot of these people know each other and you don't, no one's going to walk up if that's the most boring person in the room. Do you know what I'm saying? You could be waiting there all damn day. And one of my favorite expressions is, so I planted my own garden and decorated my own soul instead of waiting for someone to bring me flowers / get me out of a conversation that I don't want to be in. Okay. So these are some of the reasons why we stay in a conversation. Now, why should you get out of the conversation? Because maybe you're thinking, you know what? It's not that big a deal. Maybe this person has no friends and I'm the only person they get to talk to today. Or, I feel bad, so I don't want to leave them. Guess what? Life is short. Okay? It's too short for bad conversations, right? My sister says, life's short. Eat dessert first. Kind of a good philosophy. Only the witch is like so skinny. Hate that. Anyway, life is short. Take care of yourself. You should be having conversations with the people that you want to talk to, not the people that you feel guilted or you feel sorry for or you feel stuck with, okay? Conversations are like a metaphor for life. So if you catch yourself talking to that one lonely person at the party, where else in your life are you doing that? Where you're putting energy towards something that's not productive, that's not what you really want to do because you're afraid of hurting someone's feelings or feeling bad or not being nurturing or being selfish or all these other things that you made up that aren't even true about you. Because I know you. You're none of those things. Okay? So you should leave because life is short. You should leave because you deserve to have sparkling conversation wherever you go. You should leave because you know you have FOMO. We all do. Fear of missing out? Oh, yes, you do. And while you're here, bored to tears, talking to some doofus, my God, there's a way more interesting person over here. Or there might be a business contact over there, like a potential client or a new job for you. Or there could be the love of your life, like right over there. You never know. But if you stay here talking to this person, you're going to miss out on other stuff. Consider that there's an intention that there's a reason you showed up for this event, this party, whatever, in the first place. Is this the intention? To sit here and be bored to tears? Or to listen to somebody rant about something that you totally disagree with? Or, it's hard to get out of? Or like conversations that turn a little racist. And you're like, wow, that was really inappropriate what that person just said. I don't know what to do. Maybe we should have a separate video on how to handle those because I have some good ones on that. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about how to exit a conversation gracefully. So those are all the reasons that you should, right? And also because you know what happens if you stay. If you stay in this conversation that is not where you want to be, resentment starts to build. You start resenting the other person. Can they not see that I'm bored? Can they not see that they're monopolizing the conversation, that no one is interested? You start resenting yourself for not having the cojones to walk away. You start resenting the person who invited you to this stupid party in the first place, right? So resentment starts to build. That is not good for anyone, okay? So when you learn to walk away, you can avoid that resentment. You can feel strong, powerful, and in control, and you don't have to miss out on anything. You can go find the whole purpose of why you were supposed to be here at this event, right? Whether it was to contribute or receive or some of both, or to connect with a person who's going to end up being important in your life. All right, so join me in part 2, and I'll run down exactly what to say in order to get out of those conversations and into more interesting ones.